And hello, everybody. Welcome to the IGAA HOPE Network. HOPE standing for helping others pursue their endeavors. My name is Philip Carter, and I'm here to bring you another exciting interview of an IGAA HOPE member. We have none other tonight than Brother Dave Shirley, who's a singer, songwriter, retired engineer, and actor. And I'm excited to dig in this conversation with such a mighty man of God. Would you all please help me welcome Brother Dave Shirley? Brother Shirley, how are you?
Absolutely marvelous. How are you doing?
I am doing great. It's a pleasure to meet you. Where are you from?
I'm from Florida.
From Florida? What part of Florida, if you don't mind me asking?
A little small place called Quincy, right about 20 miles from Tallahassee, Quincy, Florida.
Okay, great. So, tell us about Dave Shirley.
Well, Dave Shirley is the eighth out of 9 kids, 7 boys and 2 girls from some wonderful parents. My father was a minister and my mother was a praying Christian woman.
Mm.
And actually, I started singing when I was like 5 years old. I was singing in church and I started doing events, singing here and there, and going through school. I was singing at school choir and some other little groups we formed. And after finishing high school, I left high school and I went to Jacksonville, Florida. I went to college there and I joined a little group on the side. And we had a little secular group, played the trombone. And I also played guitar for a gospel group there. And after leaving there, I moved to New York for a minute. Then from New York to California, I started working for Hughes Aircraft. And I was singing on the side. And I was also did a lot of stage plays, and I worked in a couple of movies. And actually, while I was in high school, as a youngster, during the summer, I used to travel to Hampton, Ohio, and it was some friends of mine named Roger Troutman and his brothers. I used to sing with them. I was the lead singer at a wonderful band that was out of state, and I was the lead singer for that particular band. But I would return home every summer, and actually later on, that particular group, Roger Troutman, became Roger Troutman and Zap Band. Right. Mm-hmm. I was thinking I could have actually ended up with them, but the good Lord had other things for me to do. And after going to college and traveling, doing a lot of events, I've been on stage with a lot of professional, legendary groups like even secular and gospel. Some of the secular groups were the Delphonics, Charlotte, Temptation, and gospel groups, Shirley Caesar, Mighty Clouds of Joy, Soul Stirrers, and you name it. I've been on stage with some of the greatest singers in the business. Mm. But I could have gone professionally traveling, which some folks tried to get me to do, but I had a good job. I was working for Boeing in the space station, so I really wasn't going to quit my job because I was making pretty good money, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to lose everything that I had worked up. So I stayed with my job until I retired. And after I retired, I was thinking I need someone to help me get my career in gospel music, get it on the up and up, get it to blooming. So I met this young lady who was a legendary herself in the gospel industry named Dr. Joyce Logan. And for she worked with some of the biggest names out there in the business, like Albertina Walker, Shirley Caesar, Mighty Clouds of Joy, and State Clark Sisters, and go on and on and on. So I asked her to be my manager. So she thought about it. I gave one of my CDs, and she listened to one of the songs called "Let's Help One Another."
Mm-hmm.
And she thought that particular song was a song that was that really had a lot of potential and that people can relate to. That it was a song that was an inspiring, encouraging song. So she became my manager, and she asked me to do a CD, a video on that particular song. Let's help one another. We did a video on that particular song. Let's help one another. And later on, we did another CD called Reflection of Dave Shirley, where she produced. That is doing very well right now on just about any media platform you can think of. And I worked in a place called, I started in a play called Inquest of Sam Cooke, which I played Sam Cooke. I worked in a play called Untold Story of Gospel Music. It's a Thomas Dorsey story. And God trying to tell you something. You're there preaching the house, Uncle Flesh Your Money. And but a lot of other plays I worked in. So I've been keeping pretty busy. God's been good, blessing me, and I've been giving him all the glory. And the best is yet to come.
That is right. The best is yet to come. You have a wonderful testimony. You've had a wonderful career and seen a lot. I have a lot of questions to ask you, but I think the first question I want to ask you is, what have you been doing since the pandemic began?
Actually, I've been trying to stay safe for one thing. And we've been doing a lot of Zoom events. And we also did a video. I did a video on Check.com.
Mm-hmm.
That's Sam Cooke. And I also been doing I've been doing some events, mostly online though. Just trying to, kind of keep busy and stay safe at the same time.
So do you feel like your life has changed the pandemic, or pretty much been the same? Anything new?
Not really.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing new, I'm not performing at large events live. That's pretty much only different right there.
Right.
Other than that, it's pretty much the same. God has still been blessing me in spite of this pandemic.
Yeah, and He promised to keep us. He promised to keep us. Let's go.
Never leave you alone.
Absolutely. Let's go back to childhood, young. When did you know that you had a gift that was beyond the church?
Well, actually, I was like 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
My aunt used to take me around different places. All my family just loved me sing. And as I ventured out as a little kid, like 5 years old, my aunt used to take me to different folk houses, and they would all want me to sing. They said, "Let him sing. I want to hear him sing." So what I would do, I would start singing a lot of gospel, all the gospel songs that I knew. And after I finished all the gospel songs that I knew, I said, "Well, I don't know no more gospel. I know some blues." Mm-hmm. They said, well, sing that then. so I would just sing, and folks it would just crack up because it was amazing. A young kid could just think of all these different songs and sing. Mm-hmm. And as I grew up in school, I won a few contests in school singing, and somebody told me, "Boy, you got some talent there. Why don't you might have some potential." Mm-hmm. So I just kind of like kept it going.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: when did you? I mean, I had an experience. I remember being baptized at 12 years old, but I really didn't decide to follow Jesus until I was 18. When did you decide? Okay, you know what? I'm out here doing my thing with all these people. I'm getting ready to go do my thing. When did you decide that the Lord was it for you?
Well, actually, I was like about 11 years old, 11 or 12, when I really joined the church, got baptized.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, that same year, I joined a local gospel quartet group
Mm-hmm.
because they heard me sing this. Wow, this youngster singing like that. So at 12 years old, I was like, I had the spirit of the Lord in me, and I was, folks said, you are anointed,
Mm-hmm.
and so I started singing gospel at 12 with this gospel
Mm-hmm.
group. Now these guys were all
Right.
grown, and I was a
You were
20-year-old
little
kid.
Dave, huh?
Yeah, I was a Dave. I want to hear the Dave. So, so from then on, I was singing. I started playing guitar around the same time I learned how to play
Mm-hmm.
guitar. And I played guitar for several groups later
Mm-hmm.
on. And it was always was something in me that hold it to
Right.
rain, something in me I can't
Right.
explain. All I know, there was something
That's
within
right.
me. And I just love the Lord.
Praise the Lord. Let me
And he's been good to me.
hey, I know that's right. He's been good to you as well. That's a wonderful testimony. Was your first big break with Roger Troutman?
Well, I only sang with them before they became
Mm.
famous. See, I was saying like during the summer I would go up and visit my aunt, and we would get together in the garage, and they would practice, and I was singing. Then we do little parties and stuff like that. But I would leave and come back home because I had to go to school. That was during the summer when I was in high
Mm-hmm.
school. But later on, they became really famous because they kept it going. They were one of the baddest of teenage bands in the
Mm-hmm.
city. So they kept going. It became Roger Troutman and Zap Band. They came big
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Um, do you have any can you name off the top of your head one memorable experience out there on the road, whether it be good or bad? Was there one experience that you will never forget?
Yeah, well, I never forget I played guitar behind Aretha Franklin when she came to this. She was singing at this church, and I was just, I'm a Aretha Franklin fan,
Mm-hmm.
and I was able to join the group band and play guitar behind her.
Yeah.
That was one event that I never forget. Also, I did when I did Sam Cooke, the inquest of Sam Cooke. The Delphonics backed me up as my background
Mm-hmm.
in that particular play. That was a real great experience.
And so y'all did play a lot, so they backed you up for the entire time.
So they backed me up at that particular weekend at the Wilshire Bell Theater, which we did like a weekend there, and they
Mm-hmm.
were the backup singers.
Mm. Wow. And so do you regret not quitting your job and going on the road, or are you glad you did what you did?
I'm glad I stayed on my job
Mm.
because I, I made good money and got good benefits.
Come on.
I'm set for life if I never make a dime singing.
Well, that's true. You know, my dad always told me that. You know, he said when you get old, you really understand and appreciate the value of benefits.
Right.
Yeah.
I would tell anybody to prepare themselves
Mm.
for the later stage in their life.
Right.
It's
That's
all
major.
about preparation.
Yeah, that's major. Let's talk about your new project. Um, in your video. What's it about?
Yeah, the reflection of Dave Shirley. That's my latest CD, and it's about showing the different sides of my ministry.
Mm-hmm.
Showing my versatility.
Mm-hmm.
Which my manager, Dr. George Logan, came up with that particular name, reflection of Dave Shirley, what she thought it really described my music. Which I do something for the young, something for the old. I do some traditional, and I do some, some for the young folks. I try to mix it up, and I try to do something that encouraging and inspiring people can relate to.
Right.
That will help them to be a better person.
Right.
Some compassion. I think we need more compassion in this world today. More love, more love instead of all this hate going on.
Right.
So I try to do something that people can relate to, and people that would be inspired by and encouraged, so they'll come closer together and help one another, love one another.
Right. What is your advice to young musicians? I mean, hey, I'm younger. What is your advice to younger people who are in music business right now? The pandemic has hit. Things have turned, around a little bit. Things that once were are not anymore. What kind of advice do you give if somebody were to come to you and say, hey, what can you tell me at this time?
I would tell them to keep on keeping on. Don't give up. I would tell them to keep the faith in God. I tell them to pray and put forth the effort and be passionate about what you're doing. And to keep trusting God and don't give up, you will reach your destiny.
That's right. And so the advice, IGA HOPE Network, 24,000 followers right now. What advice would you give just people who need hope? They're in need of inspiration almost every day now. What advice would you give to a person that may see this video later?
I tell them is don't stop praying.
Mm-hmm.
Don't stop trusting God. No matter how dark it seems, no matter how the storm rolls, keep your hand in God's hand. Mm-hmm. Keep on trusting, keep the faith. The storm gonna pass over.
Yeah.
You're gonna be all right.
We're gonna be all right. I was thinking this morning, it takes a while. We all have to come to a certain level of maturity, but it takes a while before we realize in your heart, in your spirit, that God is gonna take care of you.
Right.
Right. Even in your old years, sometimes you worry, you fret, but there's something in the inner peace. After a while, the things that bothered you 20 years ago don't bother you now.
Right.
You've been through enough to know that God is going to take care of you. He's got it in control, and although things may not be the way we want them to be,
right,
it might even be in a crisis,
right,
but God is still on the throne.
And he don't change.
He don't change. One thing I had to just came to my mind is that we may be in a crisis, but God is not a crisis.
Amen. Amen. He's the same God yesterday, today, and forevermore.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. You have blessed us tonight. You have a wonderful testimony. We didn't get a chance to talk about your career as an engineer. Did you go to school for that?
I went to school for that, not for that particular thing, but I ended up doing that because God made a way for me.
That's all right.
See, actually, I was gonna be a program engineer, but then God works in mysterious ways.
Right. How long did you work as an engineer?
I did for like 15 years.
Yeah. So let me ask you a few questions as we wrap this interview up. What's your favorite food?
Favorite food is salmon. Grilled salmon.
Real salmon. Huh? What is real salmon?
Real wild caught.
Yeah, wild caught. That's what I'm talking about. Wild caught salmon. Favorite color?
Blue.
Favorite singing group at this point?
Favorite singing group?
Or singer?
I would say my favorite singer is Rance Allen. My favorite group would be the Mighty Clouds of Joy.
Yeah, there was nobody like Joe Ligon.
We related.
Oh, really? Tell me about that.
We related. We distant cousin. I mean, we on the tree.
You're on the tree somewhere. I got you.
We on the tree. We on the tree. Yeah, we on the tree. Yeah, we related.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
When the pandemic is over, name one place you'd like to travel. Travel to.
I'd like to go to London,
Mm-hmm.
Paris, and Hawaii.
London. Hey, those are three great places to go. Favorite TV
Yeah.
show back in the day or right now? Favorite TV show.
Favorite TV show
Mm-hmm.
back in the day?
Mm-hmm.
Perry Mason.
Perry Mason. He never lost a case.
Right.
He'd find a way to get out of it.
Yeah. He was something, wasn't he?
He was. Yeah. You seem like a fun person to be around. You know that? Somebody I can talk to all day. I can come sit on your front porch with you, see what's going on.
Oh, yeah. We had some fun, won't we?
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you. I bet you got a library of songs in your head.
Oh yeah, and a variety of them too.
Yeah. So when you was traveling around with those R&B groups, did you learn all their dances and moves too?
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
Oh,
I would
yeah.
love to see one of them dances moves. I would.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody could quite do it like they could. I'm telling you, back in the day, you had to be able to dance and sing.
Yeah, I did the music. I did every year. I used to do the Christmas music for Diane Watson.
Okay.
For Diane Watson, I do all kind of music over there,
Mm-hmm.
and they just love it. They just have a good time.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So, what's the name of your CD again that's out?
Reflection of Dave Shirley. You can find it at DaveShirleyMusic.com. DaveShirleyMusic.com.
DaveShirleyMusic.com.
Reflection of Dave Shirley.
And Shirley is not a common last name for black folks. So where are the Shirleys located? Where's home base?
Home base is Troy, Alabama.
Troy, Alabama. Well, God bless the Shirley family if they should see any of this.
Now you heard of Troy, haven't you?
I have heard of Troy, Alabama. Yes, I have. Now, where you said you grew up at, I didn't hear it. I have not heard of that.
Yeah, Quincy is a little small town, about 20 miles from Tallahassee, Florida.
Yeah. Well, maybe I've driven through it. Oh my gosh, been through Florida, but I haven't driven through Tallahassee. That's probably why I hadn't seen Quincy. But it's been a pleasure to have this interview with you. This has been good. And welcome to the IGA HOPE Network. Last question is, why did you decide to join up with us? What is it about IGAA HOPE?
Yeah, because I found out that you are passionate about inspiring folks to become the best they can be.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Helping folks reach their dreams
Mm-hmm.
and their destiny. And that's what you're all about.
Well, thank you so much for allowing me to interview a living legend, Mr. Dave Shirley, everybody. Thank you so much, Mr. Shirley, and I hope to see you and talk to you soon.
And one more thing, John Lewis.
Yes.
He's on the tree too.
He's on your tree too?
He's on my tree. He's from Troy, Alabama.
You are right. He is from Troy,
Alabama. That's where all my folks are from.
That's right. Well, everybody from Troy, Alabama got to be on the tree somewhere.
Joe LeBron, Body Closet, Georgia, Troy, Alabama.
And guess who else from Troy, Alabama?
Who is that?
Dave Shirley.
Hey, man. That's
well,
right.
Thank you so much, sir. God bless you and good night.
God bless you. Have a good one. Thank you.
You too. Take care.
God bless you.